Hi, and welcome to my video tutorial. This is Kelly Rose, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So I have two cards to share with you with the Florets, Fitted Florets suite, and the stamp set, or the stamp set with the florals, as you can see, is on my desk. But I'm going to start with a stamp from Christmas season because the paper that I'm going to be using from the suite coordinates really nicely with this particular stamp from Christmas season. So I've stamped two of them in balmy blue, and then I'm going to stamp the berries in polished pink. There are die cuts that coordinate with the Christmas season stamp set, so I'll be cutting those out along with some oval frames that come with the dies that coordinate with the Fitted Florets suite. So this is a piece of balmy blue cardstock cut to 4 1/4 by 11 and then scored at 5 1/2. Use your bone folder to get a nice crisp fold. And so that is like the fancy die, and that's the way that turns out. Really beautiful ovals, and then they can nest together. You can layer them up. That one has really nice ridges, and that's the one I'm going to use for this card. Sorry about my arm in there. This was originally a Facebook Live, and it had a really strange buzz in it, so I had to remove the sound from the video and voice over so that I could get people to listen to it or watch the video, because with that sound in the background, there's no way anyone would put up with watching this video. And of course, I want to be helpful and share beautiful cards with you, so I redid the whole thing. So using my mini for these pieces. So now I have a piece from the coordinating paper, and that is polished pink and blushing bride colors that are in it. This is called the Fitting Florets DSP. And then this piece has Night of Navy and Balmy Blue in it. So this is just a piece of basic white. I'm cutting it to 4 by 5 1/4. That'll be for the inside. And because I'm making two cards tonight, I'm going to go ahead and do a second inside. And for the inside of the first card, I'm just taking a little bit more of the DSP and cutting it to 3/4 and then 1/4 to layer those on the inside of the card. So I can now start layering up my card with a little bit of liquid glue. So all of these products that you see me using in this video are available in my online store. And here are the two ovals. So that larger oval comes out of the fancy oval frame and has a really nice embossed edge to it. I am going to be covering that up with that silver frame that I cut out, and there's the inside of the silver frame, and you can see how the ovals just layer nicely. So a lot of variety, a lot of options with this suite. So I'm using the 'Tis the Season to Be Jolly from the Framed and Festive. So there's the Framed Florets stamp set again. So it's really an interesting combo because the Framed and Festive is obviously Christmas, but the Framed and Florets is, birthday thank you, and then very floral. So even though one of the swags does have something that looks similar to a poinsettia, it really is a year-round stamp set. So it's really versatile. If you get it for Christmas, it'll still be really awesome to have throughout the year, especially if you like florals. And there are some gorgeous die cuts that come along with it, die cuts that will cut out the the images, but also additional die cuts too. So I have a little bit of glue on my frame, so I'm just going to add these um, images on top of that glue and cover that up. I think I had originally planned to have it on the left side, but modify and adjust. Isn't that a sweet? Pretty easy. That would be fairly easy to mass produce. So now let's take care of the inside. So adding a little glue to those strips, and then just about 1/2 inch from the bottom, laying that straight across, and then using the contrasting piece there. And I'm using my bone folder to just kind of smooth out the edges, because you can sometimes get a ridge from your blade on your on the cutting tool. So I'm going to use Fa La La for the inside, and then I'm also going to add Merry Christmas. So I'm going to stamp in Night of Navy and slightly over to the left, so that the Merry Christmas will come slightly over to the right. Now, I haven't used Merry Christmas before, so I'm going to share with you how I like to put the stickers on the back. So each one of the protective papers are sliced in the middle, and that is definitely where you want to pull that up, and not from the edge, because if you pull from the edge, you can cause all kinds of issues for yourself. So before you put it on, you should see the image clearly after you remove the backing. And then I just like to start in one side and slowly lay it into the sticker. So I'm trying to line up my greeting with the bottom of the stamp so I can get it nice and straight. I have not used this stamp before, so I do like to test it, and if there's any coating, making sure that I'm getting a nice clean stamp. So it was lined up nicely, and so if I just eyeball that and keep it aligned with all the edges, it came out nice and straight. And that was stamped in polished pink. And I apologize for the awful glare on this video. I'll try to fix that before the next one. Isn't that a pretty card? Nice and simple. Really shows the beautiful paper off nicely, and with untraditional Christmas colors, which I think is fun to do now and then. Although blue is pretty traditional for the holiday time, isn't it? All right, so these are the red and green adhesive backed pearls, which are in the mini catalog right now until the end of the year. So just adding 3 of the bright silver ones. So there we have our first card done. All right, so I already have the pieces cut for this next one. This is a piece of Blushing Bride, cut to 4 1/4 by 11. And then you notice that I have it scored in a couple of different places, non-traditional. So one side is scored at 2 1/4, and then if you just turn your paper around, you can score it at 3 1/4 on the other end without having to swing out your arm. So that leaves the center portion to be 5 1/2, which will fit in your card. So I have cut some pieces of the DSP, cut to 4 by 2, 4 by 2, so that it would fit in that little spot with 1/8 of an inch frame around the edge. Then this piece is cut a little longer. It's cut to 4 by 4 1/4, 4 by 4 1/4. I used the same piece of paper because I wanted it to be a little bit of an optical illusion. I mean, I wanted it to look like it was your basic card, but then it has a little surprise in the way that it opens. So now we're just going to layer up the fancy frame. This is cut with a piece of basic white paper. I'm just using liquid glue and putting the liquid glue mostly all the way around. I just didn't want it to be glued at the bottom, because then I would glue the card together. Don't want to do that. So this oval is from inside the smaller frame, and then I ran it through this embossing folder. Again, all the products will be linked. So if you're interested in purchasing any of those from my online store, I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And then if you are dying to get your hands on this particular suite of products, I'm going to share with you the images on the DSP, which are just gorgeous, and a lot of really cool variety here. You know, even some for masculine and coordinate with our masks and coordinate with other stamp sets. It's really just a beautiful paper pack with really cool colors. Evening evergreen, and then love that gingham. All right, so this is available November 1st. If you would like to order it sooner, you could join my team. And actually, the month of October is a wonderful time to join because you get an extra, let's see, $30 in product. So what I was talking about right then is that one of the die cuts will cut this particular image from the DSP. And so I spent some time this afternoon coloring in these images, and I love that leaf sprig. That's just so beautiful. It was colored in with the soft succulent, and then the flowers were colored in with light mint macaron and polished pink. So I used 4 dimensionals to pop that up at the bottom so that I have room to put my images underneath. And so I'm just kind of laying them out and seeing what I want to go where. All right, so back to the demonstrator deal right now. Month of October, $99. You get to pick out $155 worth of product. For $99, you don't even have to pay shipping. It's really a fabulous, fabulous deal. You can join to just buy at a discount for any amount of time that you want. You will automatically be a demonstrator for at least 3 months. And then if you purchase your minimum amounts, then you get to keep being a demonstrator. If you don't, then you still get to keep everything that you got for the $99. So it's a wonderful, wonderful deal. And if you have any questions about it, I'd love to answer any of your questions that you might have. So reach out to me via email, leave a comment. I would love to talk to you about becoming part of my team and taking advantage of this wonderful deal right now. So after I have found a spot for all of my flowers that I had stamped and die cut out, I decided it needed one last little leaf, and all of those images are from the stamp set. And then there are coordinating dies to cut them out, so you don't even have to fussy cut. Really a pretty card. So let's add a bow. And the bow that I am adding has been, I tied with a double layer of the crinkled white seam binding and attached that with a glue dot. So it's like slightly under that cutout piece that I put up on dimensionals. It's not pretty, really a fancy card. So I'm not going to put a greeting on the outside, but I am going to add some gems. And the gems that I chose are these solid faceted gems. Wonderful colors. Coordinate so nicely with this DSP. So this inside piece is cut to 4 by 5 1/4, basic white. And I'm going to use another one of those die cut images from the DSP. And I think I don't think this is the way it ended up, but that's what I was thinking. And I should have stamped my greeting a little higher to get that to fit in that way. So this says wishes for a beautiful birthday. And that needs to be lined up straight. So let's get the paper out, line the words up with the line, and then line the block up with the lines on the grid paper so that you have everything nice and straight. So then if your paper is lined up as well, you can pretty much just eyeball where the block lines up with the edge of the paper, and it should come out pretty straight. That's a really helpful tip there. So I did like that. I probably should have stuck with that upside down look, but I went for this one. And when the card is finished, no one will know that I should have done it that way. So if you are appreciating anything in this video, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know that you've seen it and something in it that you particularly liked. I love hearing from you. And if you have any questions, please let me know as well. So let's get this all glued in. Such a pretty card, pretty colors, interesting design. I did get the idea from watching Meg Lovin. Her card was completely different, but this different way of folding it up and then having the paper kind of hang over to keep it closed was an idea that I got from her. So this is just another piece of paper that's in the pack, and I wanted to kind of cover up that blue because I just didn't think it really went with this card. And so this piece is cut to 4 by 4 1/4 as well. That bottom piece was cut to 2 by 4. And then that will also help keep that top flap down. So isn't that a pretty card and just kind of interesting and different? And that embossing on the inside oval, I think just kind of makes it work. So here are the two cards,